Okay, don't click away. You're in the right place. I am an IT professional. Look, code. You're probably wondering, what did I get myself into? Well, let me introduce myself. My name's Grumps, and I'm going to teach you the #1 skill that you need to land a job in IT. So maybe one day you too can become a cat girl like me.
What do you mean by that?
So what's that skill that you need to learn? Linux. Learning Linux will get you probably 80% of entry-level jobs out there.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Now don't fret, Linux is stupidly easy to learn. There's a bunch of different versions out there, but they only matter if you're a fucking nerd.
New face filters on Instagram today.
We're not nerds here, we're cat girls. So we're going to learn Red Hat Enterprise Linux because that's the only Linux that fucking matters. Now I'm sure there's someone out there who wants to say, "Oh, Grumps, what about CentOS? It's the same thing but free." Well, guess what? CentOS is going away at the end of the year, so sucks to suck, nerd. Learn Red Hat.
Now, I'm really mad.
Now let me show you how to get Red Hat Enterprise Linux for free. Open up your favorite porn browser, type in developer.redhat.com and hit enter. It'll bring you to this page right here. From this page, you're going to hit login at the top right, register at the top right, type in a random Red Hat login ID. It can be whatever you want it to be, a password, your personal information so they can sell it to lonely cat girls like me later on.
Why are you gay?
Opt out of emails because we're not about that life, and agree to terms and services and hit create account. Congratulations, you're now a fucking developer.
Hacker man.
Once you finish that, you'll get an email to whatever email address you listed. You go there, hit the verification link. It'll say, "Congratulations, you're cool now." And then you go back to this login page, log in with that email address and password you set. That will then bring you here. You click on Try RHEL, click Download RHEL at no cost. It'll then bring you to this page. You type in the information for your local McDonald's address, and then you hit Submit. You'll then see up in the top right or wherever your download area is, it's downloading something called a boot ISO. That's cool. That's the main thing we need. So once that's done downloading, we need a place to run it. And we're broke boys out here.
You're broke! You're f***ing poor!
So we're going to find the cheapest way of doing it. And right now, that cheapest way is Oracle VirtualBox. So just search up virtualbox.org, hit the first link. It should bring you here. You're going to hit for whatever system you're currently running on, and it's going to download something. Easy peasy. Next step, simply hit the executable. You're going to accept the terms and agreements, click through all the buttons, install, finish, and it didn't pop up right away, but it was in my taskbar. Hey guys, Future Grumps here. One thing I forgot to mention is that you may have to turn on virtualization for your system. There's a few different ways you can do that. Some are through Windows, some are through the BIOS. You just have to kind of look up your system and what it requires for virtualization to be enabled. And you have to make sure your CPU can support virtualization. One kind of big thing, but you can find endless guides on YouTube as to how to turn on virtualization and check it at the very least. Look at that. It already recognizes the Linux VM I had in there before because it installed to the same spot. That's crazy. All right, so now let's build your Linux VM. We're going to hit new. We're going to type in a name for our VM. I don't suggest using spaces. So I'm going to name mine my dash first dash rel dash milf. Oh, nope, not that. And then you're going to realize it knows we're cool and actually puts a little Red Hat thing here and switches us over to Linux. And then I'm going to realize that this is too long to type out. So I'm going to name it RHEL, but actually put it lowercase because that matters. RHEL VM1. Next, you're going to select a folder location for your VM. And then you're going to select the ISO image that we found earlier on the Red Hat website. Lastly, hit skip unattended install because we want to go over the install process together like a family.
Like a family.
Hit next. None of this really matters for what our purposes are. Hit next. None of this really matters. Hit next. Hit next until you get to this screen. Make sure it has words on it and hit finish. That's pretty much it. None of that info that I skipped over matters in the slightest for our purposes. Now let's go over to our VM and hit the start button. See powering up VM. And oh my God, we're here. Now use the arrow keys, hit install Enterprise Linux. It's doing some things. I'm not sure if I'm going to skip forward through this part or if I'm going to sit here talking to myself. But look, words are on the screen. Our VM's growing feet. 90% of this doesn't matter to us right now because it's moving too fast. You aren't going to read all that. I can barely read a coloring book. Oh, we got a cursor now. That's a good sign. And now we are at the first boot screen initial setup. So select whatever language you want, whatever country you want. It's up to you. I'm not going to judge that much. Hit continue, and then it'll bring you here. Now, keyboard layout, if that changes for you, sure, go ahead and swap that over. If it doesn't pick up your correct date because you're running some cool guy VPN, sure, switch that over to whatever you want it to be. Software, this is where we need to actually input some stuff. You're going to type in your Red Hat user account. Now, it doesn't matter. It's not going to charge you. I would turn off Red Hat Insights. That shit's fucking stupid. Just type in your username and password and hit register. Every hypervisor, which is what Oracle VM VirtualBox is, has a different key to get out of the VM console window, which is what we're in. Those terms are only important to nerds.
We do not care.
People call these things whatever they really feel like in the industry. I've heard them referred to in so many different ways. It doesn't matter. Now, if you're like me and you had to go look up your username again and you were like, oh shit, Grumps, my mouse is stuck in this console window. Well, chill, bud. All right, it's going to be all right.
Daddy, chill.
Just hit the right control button on your keyboard and you'll get out of it. You can move your mouse freely now. Go back to Red Hat, find your username, come back, click into the console window again, and type in everything like I said, hit OK, hit done, and you'll get back to this screen. Bing, bang, boom. We're all happy. Next, let's click software selection. This one matters a bit depending on what your plans are in life, but for right now, we're just going to go with server with GUI. All right, hit done. And then next is installation destination. You just click on it and hit done, and it's going to do whatever you said to do in the beginning when you were originally creating the VM. Next is root password and user creation. For root password, make it something secure. All right, I'm not going to tell you all my root password, and you shouldn't tell me yours, because this is probably the most important thing on the system. And you can go ahead and lock out the root account right now if you want. You can disable SSH with it, which is a good practice, both of these, for industry applications, but we're not there yet. We're doing a home lab, so we're just going to hit done like fucking degenerates and go and create another user account. So for user accounts, depending on where you're at, certain places have different requirements on how they want you to create these. For our purposes, it doesn't really matter, but you just need to be aware that some places do have name length restrictions and password length restrictions, depending on what technologies they use. So just something to bring up is, what is our password standard for our organization or something along that? You can probably make it sound better than I can. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and type in a name, grumps, because that's easy to remember. And look at that. It already typed it in here. Now, if I hit space up here and start typing shit, it's going to take the first letter of the first name and then do the last name. So let's do grumps.milf. All right. I'm Jamilf now. Cool, right? Not so cool. But, and then if you do a dot for EA, which is enterprise account, fun fact, it just puts it at the end. That's because what this is doing is it's reading it as a full name. So first name, last name. And most people do first dot last or first last as their username in enterprise worlds. Make this user an administrator. I don't want to do that yet. I want us to work through that process together. Require password to use this account. Yeah, let's do that. Let's add a password to this guy. This one, once again, I mean, you're going to make it an admin account, so I wouldn't just make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's be honest, it doesn't matter as much, because at least with this account, it'll create logs that link back to you. Whereas the root account, if you sign in with that, it just links that root was signed into. It doesn't tell you who did it or how. It's just telling you someone's being a little naughty boy. All right, and begin installation. It's going to run through all these things. It's going to make some checks. It's going to create some things. It's going to say, oh, we're going to be so cool because we're Red Hat admins now, but not really. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to skip through this part or if I'm just going to leave it in to make you guys have to listen to me for a longer period of time. Who knows? But we're just going to wait until we can get to the point where it says reboot system, I think. I actually don't quite remember. All right, so in the meantime, I want you to download one other program that we're definitely going to use later on. So go back to your favorite porn browser, and I want you to Google MOBA X term. All right, you can probably just Google MOBA and get to this page anyways. And then we're going to go to downloads and free edition, download now. And there's two different ways you can download this. Neither of them really matters too much. You got your portable edition, which is basically just an executable. It's pretty fucking nice because you can almost download it anywhere and use this program on any system. Or you can download the actual installer, which is a great way of doing it. But either way works. Just be aware there are limitations to the home edition. So if you're a baddie who actually already has a job, try and see if you can get your company to swing for the professional edition, because you get some nice tools like more than 12 sessions, more than 2 SSH tunnels, more than 4 macros. And it's pretty dang nice to have the full professional edition, but don't pay for it if you're just doing this for funsies. Definitely use the free edition. This is not worth paying money for, at least your own money. Make the companies pay for it. Anyways, download that, install it. It's pretty simple. We'll get to it at a later point in time. This thing is still running. I'll be back when it's done. All right.
A few moments later.
And we're back. All right. So next thing we're going to do, hit reboot system. Easy peasy, right? Probably already did that while I was gone. Who knows? We're waiting. And by all means, depending on the quality of your hardware, this could take longer or shorter. As we've said before, kind of a broke boy.
Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyway.
So get out of my chat, Pokimane. There we are. All right. Hit your username. We're going to type in our password. Just like that, we're in our first Red Hat machine. You're officially in the Linux environments, and you can start playing around, all right? You can't really break much because it's a virtual machine. Once you're comfortable, come back, and I'll show you how to do some extra cool little things in here using the command line. And then from there, we'll start growing our skills and working together to get better at this thing, because no one's going to hold us down. Not Pokimane, not Pokimane with cookies. We're going to get through this and learn Linux together. Keep an eye out for the next video. And I'll see you guys next time.
I got you, homie.